Hey, what's up, everybody? Gonna do a classic rock reaction, man. This is a complimentary quad, and it's featuring the music of America. I believe it's two America reactions in the past. And if I'm not mistaken, they were both recommended by Jeff, man. And so this time around, I have a recommendation coming to us from Charles Hope. Charles, thanks very much, man. America is a band that I like very, very much, and I know that they've had a number of hits. So we're going to start off with Sandman, followed by Lonely People, followed by Don't Cross the River, and then finally Moonsong. So, America. Oh yeah, before I get going, hang on, man. I got to read a quick little hello from Charles. Charles says, Wayne, here's a quad featuring the music of the band America. These are all deep tracks, as I remember you doing a quad that contained most of the major hits by this band. These songs are lesser known, but very good. Hope you enjoy. Peace, Charles. Alright, Charles, thanks, brother. A little too anxious to jump on it. Alright, man. Sandman by America. Let's get it.
Ain't it foggy outside? All the planes have been grounded. Ain't the fire inside? Let's all go stand around it. Funny, I've been there, and you've been here. We ain't had no time to drink that beer. 'Cause I understand you've been running from a man that goes by the name of the Sandman. He flies the sky like an eagle in the eye of a hurricane that's abandoned. The years gone by fast. I suppose you have missed them. Oh, I almost forgot to ask. Did you hear of my enlistment? Funny, I've been there, and you've been here. We ain't had no time to drink that beer. 'Cause I understand you've been running from the man that goes by the name of the Sandman. He flies the sky like an eagle in the eye of a hurricane that's abandoned. I understand you've been running from the man that goes by the name of the Sandman. He flies the sky like an eagle in the eye of a hurricane that's abandoned. I understand you've been running from the man that goes by the name of the Sandman. He flies the sky like an eagle in the eye of a hurricane that's abandoned. I understand you've been running from the man that goes by the name of the Sandman. He flies the sky like an eagle in the eye of a hurricane that's abandoned.
All right, man. So that's Sandman. You know something? We have access to this fantastic genre body of music. Probably the biggest genre of music ever. Classic rock, right? I'm starting off with a rant. And here I am sitting here, and I've never heard this great song ever before. Isn't that some sad shit? Why haven't I heard it ever before? Well, yeah, okay, I was brought up in different areas. I've listened to different music all my life and this and that. But in the last 3 years, starting my channel, I have tuned into classic rock radio. And I have never heard this song played on classic rock radio. Why? It's a classic. It's a great, great song. It's just as good as all of the other great songs out there that America's probably done. So why in the hell am I not hearing this song being played at least once a week on classic rock radio? Why am I hearing Dexy's Midnight Runners instead? Why am I hearing Culture Club instead? Why am I hearing When Doves Cry and Hungry Like the Wolf and what the hell else? Shit like that. Why? Right? When you've got so much to pull from, you can play probably every single classic rock song that's ever existed and not have to play that same song twice for a number of years. So why? Somebody out there, answer this question for me, because it's been under my skin and it's been bugging the hell out of me for the past couple of weeks. Why are classic rock stations selling out so much? And it's been under my skin lately because there's a lot of themes that I've been looking into where it comes to my classic rock reactions. Selling out, false doctrines, false intentions, all of these different things. It's been kind of circulating around in my world, especially with my reactions and stuff like that. And so I'm listening to this great, great song that I've never heard before. And it makes me a little bit upset and angry as to why haven't I? And you know what? In great part, I am blaming that on a little bit of myself and my upbringing and all that, but not really. And I'm especially targeting and blaming classic rock radio. Anybody who works at a classic rock radio station, tell your bosses that they're selling out. And I know that it has to do with profit. It's probably trying to sue more lady listeners, more Generation X having a nostalgic thing. You know, the millennials are around now, and so you want to kind of get it a little bit more poppy to keep that. It's all about profit. I know it is, but you know what? At the end of it, you are selling out on something magnificent. Classic rock is something so elemental that it should not be shared on the same stage, in the same airwaves as the likes of all of the 80s poppy shit. It doesn't belong. I'm telling you, I was brought up on the 80s. I grew up in the 80s. I love the 80s stuff, but it belongs in its own category on its own station. Great songs like this belongs on classic rock radio. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get that out because it's been building up and building up. I hear a great song like this and I haven't heard it before. And I'm saying to myself, what a great classic rock song. Why in the hell haven't I heard it before? It's your fault. Classic rock radio. You call yourselves classic rock and then you turn around and you play shit from the 80s. It's wrong. Anyway, guys, sorry, that's how I'm starting off my reaction. Just a little bit perturbed. Classic rock radio stations, you've sold out. You have no right calling yourselves that if you're going to include all of these other things. Classic rock is hallowed ground. Even I can tell you that shit, and I wasn't even brought up on it. But I've come to respect it. I've come to love it. I've come to respect the people who created it, what they sacrificed to bring this great music, this body of music to us. And you show them a great amount of disrespect by not keeping it hallowed and sacred. Classic rock music belongs on classic rock radio stations, and it should not be shared with the likes of anything other than classic rock. You know what I'm talking about. Man. Anyway, hey, guys, great song, fantastic group. Really, they should be remembered on a daily basis. This shit should be played on a daily basis where people like me can get more wide exposure and hear a great song like this. How can you deny people this fantastic song, exposure to this song? As many people there are out there listening to classic rock radio stations, tell me, when have you ever heard Sandman played on a classic rock radio station? Tell me. If you have, then you're lucky, because some stations are sticking to their hallowed format. But man, I am telling you, classic rock radio stations are pissing me off. Anyway, enough. Let's shut the hell up and let's get on to structure and focus. Had to get that shit out. All right, man. Yes, I'm tightly wound these days because I've been hitting up this theme about falsities and false doctrine and false people and people who just aren't what they seem. And all of these themes are hitting me in my life, but also even in my livelihood, doing reactions. So that's where all of this shit is coming from, guys. I'm sure that you guys understand. Some of you are going to take me to task. That's okay. I appreciate you guys too. All right. Let's hit up some structure. Sandman. Sandman is a track from America's first album. It was written by Dewey Bunnell, who also sang lead. I wonder if Dewey Bunnell has been plagued by the fact that he gives off such a Neil Young feel when he sings. You know, when I first heard A Horse with No Name, I said to myself, oh my goodness, man, I thought that this was a Neil Young song. This is the guy, Dewey Bunnell. I bet you he's gotten that throughout his career. Let me know about that if you guys have some information, how he feels. The song was never released as a single, but got a lot of airplay on album-oriented rock radio stations. Really. The three members of America, Bunnell, Jerry Beckley, and Dan Peake, were sons of American military service members stationed in England. They formed a band while they were going to high school near London and stayed in the area when they graduated in '69. and got a record deal. This being the height of the Vietnam War, the trio would often encounter soldiers that had seen action and hear their war stories. Bono wrote this song based on some of those tales he heard. Stories about how when stationed in Vietnam, they were afraid to sleep for fear of attack, so they would stay up as long as they could, sometimes with the help of various substances, since sleep could mean death. Yo, you see what I'm saying, man? This guy is taking those stories from those soldiers and transferring it in the form of a great song like this. And you're telling me that many, many years later, you're not going to play Sandman on classic rock radio stations? Shameful. The Sandman represents sleep, which they feared. Thus, they were always running from the Sandman. Yeah, that's what I thought this song meant. There is a widespread rumor that this song is about the U.S. Navy's VQ-2 air squadron, which was formerly based in Rota, Spain. It would stand to reason, since the members of America were all children of American servicemen. Rota, Spain's VQ-2 naval base is the one known as Gateway to the Mediterranean. If you ask most comic fans today, they'll pin the origin of Sandman as a fictional comic character to either the Neil Gaiman comic or one of Marvel Comics' Spider-Man's foes, who can literally turn into sand. However, DC Comics had the Sandman years before that, in various forms as superhero rather than villain. The earliest was the delightfully noir and creepy Sandman introduced in Adventure Comics number 40, July 1939. This character wore a business suit, a fedora, and a World War I era gas mask, and fired a gun that shot sleeping gas to incapacitate his enemies. Alright. I only knew of the Spider-Man villain, Sandman. Okay, man. Good history. That's Sandman. Alright, let's hit up our next track. Lonely People. Great band. Great harmony. America, Lonely People. Let's get it.
This is for all the lonely people, thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup and ride that highway in the sky.
Yeah, I remember this.
This is for all the single people, thinking that love has left them dry. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. You never know until you try. Well, I'm on my way. Yes, I'm back to stay. Well, I'm on my way back home. Get it? This is for all the lonely people, thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. It'll never take you down or
Great song. I remember this song, man. Fantastic. Short and sweet. A touch too short, but maybe that's a part of the charm of the song. You know, if it was longer, it might have kind of lost the savor. Great song, man. Totally fits, makes sense based on the sound. Lonely People, okay? And it's America. Great, man. Excellent. Yeah, totally makes sense. And of course, I know this song. I'm guessing it was probably one of their bigger hits. But Charles says not so much. These songs are lesser known, but very good. Okay. Great song, man. Even I remember this song. Lonely People. Great harmony. Good feels. You know? Gives you that feeling, that free feeling. Whenever I talk about a free feeling, I'm always visualizing myself in a nice car on a nice road trip, you know? Just no care in the world, you're just cruising or whatever the case is. That's for me, that's what immediately comes to my mind. If I remember, I'm gonna put my road trip background behind me. All right, man. Lonely People. Lonely People is a song written by the husband and wife team of Dan Peek and Catherine Peek and recorded by America. Background. Lonely People was the second single released from America's 1974 album Holiday. Lonely People reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. It reached pretty high. The Peeks' only credited song to reach that chart's top 10 and was America's second number 1 on the Easy Listening chart, where it stayed for 1 week in February of '75. Lonely People was not automatically earmarked for the Holiday album. Dan Peek unsuccessfully submitted a demo of the song for John Sebastian to consider recording. John Sebastian. The Loving Spoonful. Yeah, I'm right? John Sebastian. Lonely People was written as an optimistic response to the Beatles song Eleanor Rigby. Dan Peek considered Eleanor Rigby an overwhelming picture of the masses of lost humanity drowning in grey oblivion, and would recall being lacerated on first hearing the lyrics of its chorus, which run, "All the lonely people, where do they all come from? Where do they all belong?" Lonely People was written within a few weeks of Dan Peek's '73 marriage to Catherine Mayberry. Quote, "I always felt like a melancholy, lonely person, and now, upon getting married, I felt like I'd won." The lyrics of Lonely People advise all the lonely people, don't give up until you drink from the silver cup, a metaphor which Dan Peek thus explains, quote, "It's possible to drink from another's well of experience and be refreshed," unquote. True. Dan Peek's solo release. After Dan Peek left America in '77, he recalled performing Lonely People to close his concerts, introducing the song with words to the effect that Jesus is the answer to loneliness. On the advice of a fan, Peek rewrote the lyrics of the song to convey a pro-Christian message, and he recorded a revised version of Lonely People for his 1986 album Electro Voice. This version changed the original lyrics and "Ride That Highway in the Sky," and "You Never Know Until You Try," to "And Give Your Heart to Jesus Christ." Peek's version was released as a single in '86 and became a hit on contemporary Christian music stations. Yeah, it certainly would. Other versions. Jars of Clay recorded Lonely People for their 2003 album Who We Are Instead. Their version was featured on the WB TV series Everwood and was on the 2004 Everwood soundtrack album. Okay. And that's the information given for Lonely People. Great song, man. Great song. I can definitely see it being a very strong Christian song. All right, man. Let's hit up our third track. That being Don't Cross the River. America, don't cross the river. Let's get it.
can ride my train and soon forget the reason that you're leaving. Lose yourself and then sometime, maybe even save yourself some grieving. Don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide. Don't try denying living on the other side. Don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide. Don't try denying living on the other side. Don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide. Don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide. Don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide.
Some serious advice there. It's like a young person who's got only starry eyes, only looking at life in a certain way. The fun element of it, but you've got to look at it from all different sides. And don't cross the river might mean, beyond the river, from the safety of your environment, you go out and you launch yourself and you could get into trouble. It makes me think of that song, Wild World, by Cat Stevens. And then, of course, covered by Maxi Priest. That's what I was thinking. Very similar. Don't Cross the River. Don't Cross the River appears on Homecoming. It's the second studio album by America, released November 15th, 1972 through Warner Brothers Records. The song was written by Dan Peek, one of the 3 founding members of America. He left the band in 1977 after pledging to God that if successful with his music, he would dedicate his life to Christ, which he did until his death in 2011. Peek became a Christian recording artist, making number 78 US with All Things Are Possible in 1979. The lyrics are Peek's advice to a lost and lonely girl who loves life in the fast lane but feels emptiness within. He tells her, don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide, meaning that if she's going to live life for her own fleshly reasons, she will likely be unhappy and do not expect otherwise. He invites her to accept Jesus by reminding her that if you want, you can ride my train and soon forget the reason that you're leaving. Leaving the old life behind, and that you'll lose yourself, but then sometime maybe even save yourself some grieving. You'll leave certain pleasures behind, but soon forget about them and save yourself many heartaches and hours of loneliness. Okay. Album reception. In his AllMusic review, music critic David Clearly called Homecoming America's finest album, and despite citing sometimes banal lyrics, wrote that each song here has something to recommend. This top-flight album is a very rewarding listen. Okay, man. So, that is the information given for the album and for the song. Good song. Good warning. Alright, man. Let's hit up our final track, and that being Moon Song. Okay, and Moon Song is also off of Homecoming. Alright. America, Moon Song. Let's get it.
To rise upon my fallen eyes, I'm taken back to firelight. A drunken dreamer's plan to stay just as I am amidst the dancing paradise. A case of beer smile, a motorcycle child. I feel the glow surround me, and
A motorcycle child. See, I'm visualizing that chopper once again on the open road.
orange funnel, snowy tunnel, summer trouble, books in bundles. Orange funnel, snowy tunnel, and you, and you, and
I can't hear the ending verses that they're singing there. All right. Good song. Moon Song. Yeah, man, these guys, they had a really excellent signature sound. America did. And while looking at the videos before, and I remember Jeff sent me some songs of theirs. There's 3 of them, and then they've of course got an accompanying band backing them up. And yeah, overall, man, really good signature sound being created from these 3 guys and their band on a whole. I really dig that about them. They have, I'm not gonna say completely a Neil Young sound. They've got their own specific signature sound. And you know, I know that all 3 of them take turns singing lead. But what I do get from them is I get that really cool, chillaxing feel about them, just like I do when I listen to a Neil Young song. Neil has a certain way of singing that just puts you into this mood, and it's the same with these guys. And I hope you guys don't mind that comparison. It's just how my mind is connecting dots here. But yeah, man, America in their own right, they're an excellent band, a classic band. I know that they're more on the soft rock side, but they still definitely belong in the lineup of classic rock, you know? And of course, I'm not going back to my rant, you heard enough of that, where they should have a place in classic rock radio, and sadly they do not, you know, and that goes for so many other bands. But yeah, these guys are fantastic, and I know that they've got a place in history, and 500 years from now, we're still going to be talking about how great they are, you know? That's basically it. All right, so Charles, thanks very much, man. America is a band that I would definitely like to look more into and check out maybe their whole body of work at some point. And I don't know how many albums they've had. One of their principals left, and so that might have kind of left them tilting to one side throughout the rest of their career. I'm not sure, but I'd like to look into that and see how their whole history runs, yeah, so yeah, before I bounce, let me just see what I'm up to. Yeah, okay. So I got some, I've always got reactions owing. Got some reactions coming for David, Finesse, Ford, Susan, Evelyn. Got a Led Zeppelin reaction. I believe it's, is it Blueberry Hill? I believe it's Blueberry Hill. And that's a live reaction. That's definitely a Lazy Boy and Sugarcane Rum affair. And oh man, yeah, speaking of Led Zeppelin, holy shit, man. I was debating and flipping a coin to decide if I was going to post my last Led Zeppelin reaction, The Curse of Led Zeppelin. You guys got to go check that shit out and read the comments. Read how some people took it. There were some people that were a little bit so offensive that I actually had to block them, sorry to say. But check that out, man, if you guys want to have a little bit of an intriguing and an engaging read. You'll find that quite interesting. And if you don't find the topic of conversation very, very intriguing, let me know what you think about my comments afterwards. You'll probably maybe, if you last through the whole, it was 40 minutes, a 40-minute presentation stating certain things. If you don't last through that, then maybe skip to the end and let me know what you think about my comments at the back end of it. That'll be quite interesting. So, but yeah, it definitely stirred a lot of people, let me tell you. Some on the good side, some on the not so good side. Of all of my Led Zeppelin reactions, that one gave me 6 dislikes, 6 thumbs down for a Led Zeppelin reaction. That's the highest amount of thumbs down over a week span where it comes to Led Zeppelin. Analytics tells me all of this stuff, right? So it's an all-time low where it comes to dislikes on a Led Zeppelin reaction, if you can believe that. Crazy. All right, man. Yeah, so that's what's coming up where Led Zeppelin is concerned, man. And I've also got some stuff going on the the Beyond Classic Rock platform that I've got to get onto. And I'm looking forward to playing some catch up with that. And I'm excited too because I've got a Radiohead, I think it's an album, a full album reaction coming up on that platform within the next couple of days. So check that out. Radiohead has the most amount of views and comments on the Beyond Classic Rock platform. Who would have known? I knew of them, heard of them, but I didn't know their stuff. Not just their music, but also their videos are really, really well crafted. Where you're talking about that creative touch, these guys really had it in spades. And my understanding is that they're still together, 40 years, so that's really something. So check that out. I've got a Radiohead reaction coming up. I'm pretty sure it's a album reaction. Anyway, man, that's what's going on in my world. And thank you again, Charles. This was great. Always a really, really good listen where America is concerned. And I definitely look forward to checking out these guys down the road. Thanks very much, everyone. Hope you guys are having a good and safe weekend. Remember your sunblock. I don't have to worry about shit like that. But you guys remember your sunblock. Don't turn into lobsters, all right? We got the whole summer ahead of us. So enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Take care. And I'll catch you in my next reaction. Peace.